Alright guys, so a major overhaul has been confirmed to be coming to Modern Warfare multiplayer. This is no longer a leak, and now finally Infinity is at least acknowledging and mentioning that there's going to be a major update with tons of changes coming to the game. Up until now, we really didn't know if we were ever going to see this update, especially from the Game Revolution source. His source gave him the information around a month ago regarding this major overhaul around the end of October. The main point that he highlighted was that the minimap was going to be brought back to its normal form from past Call of Duties, and then everything else was up in the air as to what they would change. But unfortunately, he hadn't heard from that source since then, so we all thought, you know what, maybe they canceled this major overhaul. They decided, let's keep the game as it is, let's not change it. But it looks like finally now, Ashton Williams is tweeting out, finalizing notes for the big update you all keep asking about. Notes are a little over 2 pages long, lots of good stuff in here. So again, this is the first acknowledgement we're seeing from Infinity Ward around this sort of big update or overhaul coming to the game, and she's saying the notes for this update are 2 pages long. A lot of good stuff in there. That's definitely very interesting. So it goes to show, one, they heard about the leak. I think with Infinity Ward, a lot of these guys on Twitter, they really know what's going on in the community, and they definitely know that the overhaul was leaked originally and people have been talking about it. But more importantly, they know that people have had pretty major problems with the multiplayer. Obviously, there's a small amount of people, and I see in my comment section, a lot of people sometimes, really disagree with me with a bunch of stuff, but there's also a large amount of people as well that really want things changed within this game. And a part of this major overhaul, it was sort of expected, and Infinity Ward finally now deciding to finalize it and get it ready for us. And it's not really giving us too much of a time frame here. They're still finalizing the notes for the big update, and I think there probably is a bunch more work to be done for this overhaul. It's probably not going to release until a few weeks from now, and I'm getting that from this tweet as well. So she said what went out today was a patch. We have an update coming out in the next few days that includes fixes to perks, private match options, weapons, and more. So meaning the next couple of days, they're still focused on small patches and small changes to the game. So this overhaul is not coming anytime soon, at least within the next couple of days. It's not coming this weekend. The leak did originally say that it was going to be the end of November, and I said end of November, beginning of December is the expected time frame. And with this tweet here, with Ashton confirming that they're finalizing the notes for the update, I think we should be expecting it probably the beginning of December, in time for the holiday season. They want this game sort of perfected before a new influx of players buy this game, and hopefully they don't have the same issues that maybe a lot of the players that played at launch were having. So let's go through now what this big update is going to include. And I said within my video last night for you guys to give a bunch of your feedback as to what you really think is going to be a part of this overhaul, what you want changed within this game. And there are a couple of main pointers that is, I feel like, a general consensus across the community, and you guys can verify that down below. You could agree with me, disagree with these points here. I don't think I have every point that everyone made, so definitely continue to leave your comments below on this video. What are some of the main things you want changed for this big update, this major overhaul coming to Modern Warfare multiplayer? I mean, she said over 2 pages long of all notes about this big update, all probably genuine changes. This is not a bug fix update. This is a major update to the game that's changing all parts of the game. So leave your comments below as to what you want to be a part of this major overhaul. If you see it within this video, probably try not to comment it again. I want to go through a bunch of new ideas, maybe in a different video, but let's go through the main stuff here and let me know if you guys agree with this stuff as well. So main 4 for this guy: fix the minimap, make dead sounds a perk, fix ghosts, and traditional footstep audio. So I think by far for me, the main one here is the minimap. The minimap is something that people sort of got used to, but at the same time, bringing the minimap back to its original form from past Call of Duties, I think would, one, mitigate the amount of campers within the game. If you're camping and you shoot, you're going to show up on the radar with a normal minimap, and then people will be able to find you and kill you, and it'll make it so camping isn't as advantageous as it is right now within this game. And also the normal minimap is just what people have known and come to love, and I think a lot of people were taken back when it was removed for no apparent reason. I get the pros of, being more immersed into the game, and I understand that, but there really is just the realism mode for that, and I think the normal minimap just fits well with Call of Duty, and it returning to the game would be very nice. Now, Dead Silence as a perk, that is interesting. I mean, Dead Silence is in the game as a field upgrade, and maybe they'll just continue to balance it, maybe buff it a bit more, make it useful as a field upgrade, but it is technically in the game, and I know people definitely want it as a perk, and I don't know if they're going to make that transition over from field upgrade to perk. I think they're really going to stick it with a field upgrade and just continue to balance it and try to figure out how to make it work better, but if they do, Dead Silence as a perk probably would make a lot more sense, especially with this game. It would probably be a perk that a lot of people are using, so I don't know. Let me know if you guys agree with that as well. Fix Ghost. This is something that's a bit difficult for me to actually pinpoint whether I want them to completely nerf Ghost or keep it as it is. I'm sort of in the middle. I do think there is a way they could nerf Ghost where if you're camping or if you're sitting still for way too long, then Ghost won't work anymore, but I don't think you should be able to, sit still for 3 seconds and then Ghost turns off. I mean, the whole point of Ghost is to, not be detected from enemy radars, and it has worked like that in past games. It's been around forever. It's not like it's that much different within this game, so maybe they could slightly nerf it, but I don't want them to completely nerf Ghost out of Oblivion. The last thing here, traditional footstep audio, bring that back. The problem with that is that they crafted a new footstep audio system within this game, and they have to work off of that. So they need to balance that, fine-tune that, craft that to make it a bit more balanced, but you can't just revert back to the way the footsteps were before. That's just not going to happen. It's a whole new sound system and a whole new engine that they're working with, so you're probably not going to get the exact same footstep audio style that we're seeing, especially from past Modern Warfare games, but hopefully they do balance it out a bit more. So, main things like, friendly footsteps aren't as, loud, or maybe the footsteps, this was a bug where you hear someone walking around a corner, but they're actually on the other corner. Different stuff like that they could fix and fine tune. So that should be good. Probably coming within that update as well. Here's a bunch of stuff in this one. If the maps were good, this game would be good. Less cameras and more variety. You can't just get rid of all the maps. So maybe if they're saying the new DLC maps, they're catered more towards rushing and just a bit less of a campy nature. That would be cool. But the DLC maps aren't going to be a part of the major overhaul. They're going to be a part of the DLC season. Nerf tanks, that's going to be an update anyway, not a part of the major overhaul. Add rushing incentives. Very interesting to see how they would do that. Maybe they're going to find a way to do that. So we might see that within that update. Add more ways to unlock emblems and calling cards. Buff some guns to keep up with the M4 and P5. That's going to happen in another update. Tone down skill-based matchmaking. That's just up in the air. Who knows if that's going to happen. Here's the main one here that I like. Make maps that don't have too many lines of sight. So again, the DLC season will probably add these smaller maps like we saw with Shoot House. So it's not going to be part of the major overhaul, but the too many lines of sight issue is something I've been talking about, and I did say for the overhaul, and a bunch of people said this as well. I forgot where I saw this, but take the maps that we have in this game right now, at least a couple, maybe not every map, but a couple of the major maps. Get rid of 25% of the open windows and open spaces that you see within any given room, any given corridor. There are a bunch of different locations, like the center of a map could have so many different lines of sight that are just completely unnecessary, and people say it's a new playstyle, but I have to completely disagree. There are some parts of this game, some maps where you walk into the middle of a map and there are a million lines of sight. I understand it's the middle of the map, there are supposed to be multiple lines of sight, but there are just some maps where it's almost ridiculous. So if they got rid of a couple of different head glitches, they got rid of maybe 1 or 2 mounting locations in any certain area, sort of toned that down just a little bit to the existing maps, not every existing map, just a couple of them, I think this game would run a lot better and would be a lot more of an enjoyable experience, and that could definitely be something we see a part of this major overhaul. Here's another little one. Kill feed is too small and so see-through, they need to make it more visible. Another one here. I want more than 5 classes. I think that's going to happen eventually. I don't know if that's going to be a part of a major overhaul, but that definitely will be something we'll see very soon. Also, take out the yelling and free-for-all. I think the yelling in general, yelling out placing claymore out of ammo, reloading is stupid. I know, sometimes it does get very annoying. They're shouting so much different stuff, and it's actually pretty loud. I think they already sort of fine-tuned that, and maybe they'll continue to balance that. Dead Silence, Sleight of Hand should be perks. Some more, I mean, I've seen so many recurring comments about Dead Silence as well. We already talked about that. Sleight of Hand on the weapon, it is a interesting feature there. It does suck that you have to use sort of an attachment slot to use Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand as a perk would be nice, but as sort of an attachment perk, it's not that big of a deal. I think it'll just be something that we get used to, and that's that. Another thing here, the Ghost perk, this is going off of the Ghost perk as well. I already talked about this, but I did want to highlight that a bunch of people were mentioning the Ghost perk, and he's saying here, if you don't move, you should appear on the radar. It would get people out of corners. I understand that, but I do want the Ghost perk to be usable, and I want the Ghost perk to have some sort of, structure to what it was in the past Call of Duties. In the past Call of Duties, Ghost was Ghost. There was no sort of, if you stand still for any second, any amount of time, you appear on the radar. Ghost, you were just off the radar at all times. So I would say maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Then if you're sitting still for 10 to 15 seconds, then you're off the radar. But if you're just sitting still for a couple of seconds, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I don't want them to nerf it too much, but a lot of people do want something to happen to Ghost. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, we're going to get this major overhaul in the next couple of weeks very soon. It's going to be interesting to see how much they change, what they change, and how drastic these changes are. Can't wait to see. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.